Dude, who even needs a Mario 64 Bestiary? Huh? Wait, we're starting? Welcome to the Super Mario 64 Bestiary. Here I will show and demonstrate every kind of enemy in the entirety of Super Mario 64. So sit back and maybe get a drink or snack while watching as I guide you through this Bestiary. Okay, before we get right into this, let me tell you something about the structure first. We have a total of 69 entries. I know, nice. Which also is more than I expected, and I'm sure there will be at least one enemy surprising you. Anyway, they are split among 4 categories, being Killable Enemies, Invincible Enemies, Miscellaneous Creatures, and the bosses. So let's get right into this with the Killable Enemies and the first entry, being none other than the Goomba. The classic, we all know and love him. These little fellas of course are no big obstacle, still they will always try to get in your way. Bowser can be proud having such loyal minions. Other than that, you won't really encounter a Goomba alone. They often like to be around in groups of 3. Still, with just 1 damage and their super easy defeat, they are no threat. Tiny Goomba, a micro version of an already weak creature. Think what you want, but even if they run into you, they die without dealing any damage. Poor little soldier, but don't get too cocky near the edges, because, well, yeah. Huge Goomba. Now this is a Goomba that isn't vulnerable to everything. Seriously, you can kick and punch him all you want, and he'll just laugh it off. But still, he's weak to jumps, especially ground pounds, which make him drop a blue coin. That's a huge deal, get it? Anyway, they're exclusive to Tiny Huge Island, where familiar enemies come in both tiny and huge variations. Bob-omb. Sure, Bob-ombs are iconic in Mario 64, being the stars of the first course, but somehow they still play second fiddle to Goombas, always listed first. Anyway, Bob-ombs will chase you like it's their life's mission. They go down easily, but they are determined to take you with them. It's some crazy behavior if you ask me. Be sure to grab or kick them away fast to keep your distance. And watch out, if they bump into another Bob-omb or an object, they will explode instantly, making things a lot less predictable. Koopa Troopa. Honestly, coward is the perfect word to describe these guys. The moment you get near a Koopa, he'll try to run away. Even if you make contact, there's no damage, just a little knockback. Once you knock them out of their shell, they're completely helpless. And seriously, what kind of monster would use their own shell to take them out for a blue coin? Right? Monster! Tiny Koopa Troopa. If you thought the regular one was helpless, wait until you meet the Tiny Koopa Troopa. Same deal, except he's smaller and dies instantly, so no shell cruising with this little guy. Oh, and if you bump into him, no coins for you. Just keep that in mind. Huge Koopa Troopa. Hold on, that's Koopa the Quick. I have no explanation for how he made it to Bob-omb Battlefield, but meeting him in Tiny Huge Island clears things up a bit. Still, he's not really your enemy and you can't harm each other. Unless we're talking about his smaller counterpart, of course. Whomp. These walking walls are more than just your average brick structure. If you get in front of them, they will try to flatten you. So better not cross their way directly. Oh, unless you can ground pound right through them, of course. Okay, forget the part earlier. However, instead of taking them out right away for 5 coins, you can also hop up to 5 times on their back for 5 additional coins. Maybe that can come in handy for certain situations. Piranha Plant. I don't know about you, but I'm getting a little tired of watching this plant sleep, especially with this lullaby playing. Okay, here's the plan. Quickly jump or dive into them, or sneak up and knock them out before they wake up. Because if you don't, you don't want them waking up, because once they are awake, they can no longer be harmed. Tiny Piranha Plant. Unlike the sleepy Piranha Plants, this one is always on guard. popping out of the ground and ready to burn you. Yes, these plants are not afraid of fire. In fact, they will instead use it to their advantage. So always keep your eyes peeled so you don't accidentally miss this tiny but lethal trap. Huge Piranha Plant. Identical to their tiny counterpart, we've got the huge Piranha Plants. Indeed, they behave exactly the same, but with their bigger size, you will at least be able to see and attack them with ease. Just make sure to dodge the fire. Sounds simple enough, right? Spindrift. Jump off these guys to go wee! That's basically the main purpose, and they are not much of a threat. But I will still slowly walk toward you, trying to hit you. Hey, at least I've got 3 coins for you. Just make sure to punch or kick them if you're on a coin hunt, so you can collect the coins more easily, because if you jump on them, the coins will scatter everywhere. Fly Guy. Same deal with Fly Guys. If you can jump on their head, you will twirl off them, just like before with Spindrifts. But they can be really annoying. They will either shoot fire at you or fly right into your path. Naturally, you will want to get them within reach to take them out as soon as possible. Lakitu. Ah yes, the cloud-riding menace. This guy loves to hover just out of reach, tossing spinies at you, but if you manage to get close enough, one hit will take him out instantly, dropping a whopping 5 coins. Boo. Look them in the eyes and they will turn invisible, making them impossible to attack. So just look the other way, time a ground pound and boom! You'll snag an easy blue coin worth 5 coins. Well, except for the boos in the castle courtyard. They got yellow coins, but they are pretty much useless anyway. Mr. I don't know about you, but I feel a little uncomfortable with this guy staring at me the whole time. Where was I? Alright, just get this eye to focus on you, then run circles around him until he gets dizzy and you've earned yourself a blue coin. But be careful, even though he's just an eye, he's got some projectiles ready to hit you. Bookend. This book is ready to end your career. Well, not really, but I can see why some people are afraid of reading now. Anyway, keep your eyes on the bookshelves, and if you see a book popping out, a simple jump will do the trick. Scuttlebug. Careful around the corners, these spider-like creatures are ready to spook you deep down in this creepy cave. Luckily, they go down with just one simple attack, but don't waste too much effort. Some of them will just keep coming back for more. Swoop. Hanging from the ceiling, ready to attack when you least expect it. Sounds brutal, right? But don't worry, they are actually pretty slow. And even if they do manage to hit you, it's just 1 damage, so no big deal. That said, they as well can be tricky to hit sometimes. Snufit. No, this isn't a Snufit. It's a Snufit. Think of it as the undead version of a Snufit. Though don't ask me how they became ghosts. Snufits will try to keep you at a distance by shooting bullets at you, but don't be afraid to attack them right away. That's the most efficient way to beat them, right before they even get the chance to charge up. Bully. These little fellas are tough. They will push you around any chance they get. Luckily, they don't deal direct damage. Their sole goal is to shove you into the lava. The trick? Push them off the platform first, because that's the only way to defeat them. Don't let them start pushing you around. Pokey. Ouch, this looks like a spiky situation. But those spikes? Totally just for show. Either that or Mario's gloves and shoes are indestructible. I'm not sure. Focus on taking out the head of the Pokey, because if you only knock out the segments, they will just regenerate and you won't get anything. Skeeter. Whether it's cruising over the water surface or chasing you on land, the Skeeter's always coming for you. If the water level's high though, jumping on them can be a real pain, so I definitely recommend taking them out when the water is low. On the bright side, if they hit you while swimming, you will just regenerate instantly. Water got some crazy healing power. Chuckya. Don't run into this guy's arms or he will literally chuck ya around. Yeah, That's his whole purpose, and trust me, he can get dangerous real quick if you're not careful. While he can't directly damage you, he will try to toss you off a platform, leading to massive fall damage, or worse, sending you off the stage entirely. Grab him from behind to stop his rampage. And fun fact, you can actually escape his grasp by mashing the A button fast enough. But don't rely on it. Moneybag. Oh yes, another coin from my pocket. Hehe, gotcha. I'm just a moneybag. Or something like that has to be this guy's thought process. Here's the deal. First up, if you see singular coins scattered around, be skeptical. Because this already is a huge indicator for it being a trap. Approach the coin carefully, and if you get close enough, he will reveal his true form. One hit and the real coins are yours. Mr. Blizzard. Oh, hi there! These snowmen love to throw snowballs at you, but as long as you keep running, they most definitely won't hit you. Honestly, for the longest time, I didn't even know you could defeat them. Turns out the trick is just like with Mr. I. Run around Mr. Blizzard until he gets dizzy and falls apart. But don't get too comfortable, a new one will pop up soon after. At least you will get some coins for your trouble. Invincible Enemies. Jumping Mr. Blizzard. Another snowman, but this one's not hiding from you. Instead, they are jumping across the bridge and you will need to carefully time your movements to slip past them. There's no way to make these guys dizzy or take them out, so your best bet is just to avoid them entirely. Chomp. This dog sure looks dangerous, and the only way to get him out of the way is by ground pounding the wooden post at the center of his chain. Of course he's eager to play with you, so try to not get bitten. Oh, and while you can't technically harm him, if you throw Bob-omb right into his face? Yeah, that's gotta hurt, but feel free to keep trying, it won't change the outcome. Bob-omb. Splash, splash, and splash! These water bombs are more annoying than dangerous, as they barely do any damage, but they will slow you down and somehow seem to hit you most of the time. But as long as you don't get hit by a barrage of them, you should be just fine. Big Steely. I didn't know these counted as enemies, but thinking about their origin, it makes somewhat sense. So here we go. What should I say? These balls like to roll down steep paths crossing your way, maneuver around them or time your jumps and you're good to go. Thwomp, a big blue stone determined to crush you into the ground if you're right underneath him. So run past him quickly while he's in the air. On the plus side, you can use him as a makeshift elevator to reach higher up goodies. And that's not all. Thwomps come with plenty of variations. Tox Box. These metallic cubes roll around in shifting sandland, blocking your path as you try to reach the other side. But don't worry, there's a hole in their body you can use to your advantage, if timed just right. It's not mandatory to dodge through them, but it's the only way to interact with these guys. Grindel. Almost identical to the regular Thwomp, Grindels move up and down, trying to squish you. However, some say they aren't limited to just vertical movement. They can also go forwards and backwards, if they feel like it. But hey, who am I to judge? Spindel. Lastly, we got the only rounded stone of the Thwomp family. This one rolls back and forth, trying to flatten you like the others. Jump over him or squeeze into this little safe spot to avoid the shenanigans which the Spindel can cause if you're not patient, that is. Bullet Bill. This Ironheart missile packs a punch, dealing a good chunk of damage. Fortunately for us, its launch process is really slow pace, giving you plenty of time to avoid it. Once it's fired, you're probably already out of its detection range, so just keep moving and you should never get hit. Spiny. Ever noticed this? Yeah, me neither. Spinies have no face. Kinda spooky, right? Anyway, Spinies are thrown and brought to life by Lakitus, crawling around wherever they land. I wouldn't recommend bumping into them, obviously. Punching or kicking won't hurt them either. You can try knocking them off the stage, but they won't die. They will just hang out down on the level's death plane now. Clampy. They may not have pearls, but they've got red coins. Carefully approach the clam and it will open its mouth, revealing a treasure. Quickly nab your prize and get away, because if you go too slow, snap! And receiving damage underwater is even more brutal than on the surface. Unagi. You will be dealing with this eel quite a bit during the missions in Jolly Roger Bay. Crashing into him can definitely give you a mini heart attack, but stay calm. The rewards are more than worth it. Just don't get hit too often. Manta Ray. Not only does this guy reward you for swimming through his rings, but he can also punish you if you swim right into him. Ouch! Just keep a safe distance and you will be fine. Stick to collecting those Manta secrets as intended and you won't have to worry about getting hurt. Bob. Honestly, I never noticed this little innocent fish before, I think. Have you? No shame if you missed him too, because this little Bob will avoid you at all costs. If you get close, he will swim away, but if you really insist on catching him, you can. Though this poor fish is so, harmless, you will end up taking 1 damage just for trying to harm this poor little guy. Bubba. Now on the other hand, we've got this big and frightening, but stylish fish. I mean, come on, those sunglasses are just too cool. But don't let the look fool you, Bubba is a real gangster. He's the only enemy in the game that can one-hit kill you. So if you're swimming into his territory, get out fast, or you might end up being his next snack. Sushi. Wow, a shark named Sushi, exactly what we are all here for, right? He just swims around in big circles, so as long as you keep track of his path, you should be fine. But if you rush toward your goal without paying attention, well, this shark might just swim in and ruin your day. Haunted chair. Some objects in the spooky haunted mansion are just possessed, like these flying chairs. Get too close and they will spring to life, soaring through the air, spinning around to spook you before flying right at you. If you spend too much time collecting all the goodies in the room, their aim might catch you off guard. Try to dodge them or just make a quick exit before they can take a shot at you. Mad Piano, easily one of the most memorable characters in Super Mario 64. This crazy possessed piano has likely jump-scared everyone at least once or haunted their dreams. What starts as a chill moment can quickly turn into a nightmare. Grab that red coin and don't linger, just make your exit as fast as you can! Monty Mole! These sneaky little fellas love to throw rocks your way, hoping to cause some serious trouble. You can jump on them, but don't expect any rewards. Nothing drops. And in no time, plop! There he is again, continuing like nothing happened. Lava Bubble. Yep, that fiery little guy jumping out of the lava trying to snipe you is a lava bubble. I'll admit I never saw it that way until now, but it makes sense. Just avoid any contact with them, as getting burned limits your moveset and could lead to even more lava damage. If you're not careful, of course. Fire Spitter. It may just look like a tiny black ball, but don't underestimate them. They can surprise you out of nowhere, setting you ablaze and dealing massive damage. If you're not careful, you might even miss your goal and have to backtrack where you were. Luckily for us, they do not appear as often and are most of the time placed in really inefficient spots. Amp, an electrified beast ready to shock you at any moment. They move in circular patterns, blocking your path. Any physical contact will leave you sapped. You can try to jump over them or quickly maneuver through when there's an opening. Just avoid their mischievous little faces, or you'll be in for a shocking surprise. Homing Amp, a more dangerous version of the Amp. This one doesn't just stay in place, it chases you once you get close. It flies around trying to shock you as often as possible. The only way to escape is to outrun it, getting far enough away to break its detection, making it despawn again. Similar to fire spitters, they could cause a lot of trouble, but fortunately they only appear once throughout the entire game. Heave-ho! get ready to be catapulted across wet dry world, as this is the only place these machines show up. You can use them to your advantage, as they will chase you. Okay, unless they are recharging. Position them just right and you can be launched to the next layer. But watch out, because sometimes they will troll you, tossing you back and forth, potentially causing a lot of fall damage too. Psst, just between us. While using them is the intended way, you can totally ignore heroes altogether. It might save your sanity. But hey, don't tell anyone. Miscellaneous Creatures. Bob-omb. Exactly, that's their name. Simple but to the point. These guys are just obstacles trying to push you off their path. They're super easy to dodge. And even if they manage to knock you off, there's safe ground below. So honestly, there's really nothing to worry about here. Just a little bump in the road. Hoot! Wait, why is the owl an enemy? He's clearly helping you reach the caged star. Well, you might be onto something, but hear me out. Sure, Hoot the Owl isn't your typical enemy, but he takes you sky high only to drop you mid-air, risking massive fall damage or worse, falling right off the stage to your doom? So maybe he's not as innocent as you thought after all. Mips. This pesky little rabbit hops around the basement, taunting you until you finally manage to grab him. Unlike the helpful toads who give you stars to support your adventure, Mips only hands over his star because he doesn't want to get hurt. He even claims he got the star from Bowser. So yeah, he's definitely not here to help. He just wants to stay out of trouble. Dory. The legends are true. Deep within the depths of Hazy Maze Cave lives this peaceful creature. Hop onto Dory's back and it will swim in the direction you're facing. And if you ground pound, oh well, you get a ride on its head, though that probably feels painful for poor Dory. Such a gentle soul deserves better. Twister. Wanna get thrown into the air and twirl around in shifting sandland? Probably not, but it's going to happen anyway. These tornadoes love sweeping you up. And while they might occasionally save you from sinking into quicksand, they are usually just an annoyance. Enjoy the ride, or not. Klepto. Once you swipe this bird's shiny treasure, he's out for revenge, and his favorite target is your hat. Every chance he gets, he'll swoop down to steal it. You can try to beat him up, but Klepto's a tough bird and will always come back for more, ready to swipe your hat again. Whoosh. Quite literally is that everything he's doing. Whooshing you off the mountain, but on top of that, he also blows away your cap too. So just run quickly past him on the mountainside and he won't have enough time to charge up and blow you off. Ukiki. These little monkeys just wanna play, and I have to admit, they look quite adorable. The Ukiki near the waterfall seems like he's asking for a cuddle, but don't be fooled. Pick him up and he will steal your hat and scamper away. Catch him again to get it back. The Ukiki at the mountain's peak will run away immediately, but if you can catch him, he will grant you access to the star in the monkey cage. Just a heads up, tagging them can be a bit of a challenge. Your best bet is to wait until they land from their jump. Otherwise, it may take forever to catch them. Snowman. It's time to build a snowman. Yep, that's what we're doing. And no, he actually isn't evil and just needs our help to combine body and head. However, during the process, his body can roll into you, dealing a good amount of damage. So it's best to keep a safe distance while building this snowman. Big snowman. No, we are not building an even bigger snowman. This giant is watching over Snowman's land, and he simply finds you annoying. Can you blame him? But we need to get past him anyway, since there's a star all the way up there. Just watch out for his icy breath. If you get caught, he will send you flying back to the start of the level, blowing your head off in another direction. Bosses. Big Bob-omb. For most beginners, this is where the adventure starts. The first boss, the first star of the game. And while he can be a bit finicky at first, he acts pretty similar to a Chuckya. Run around behind him, grab him by the back, and toss him onto the platform, while he tries to boot you off the entire summit. Then repeat this 2 more times, but don't even think about throwing him off the edge. Trust me, just don't! Whomp King, a bigger, stronger Whomp who can tank 3 ground pounds. The challenge here? His larger body makes dodging a bit trickier as he tries to press you into the ground. But just like with regular Whomps, we can totally abuse the janky physics and not bother dodging at all. Just time your ground pound right and show this hard-working brick who's boss. Disrespect complete. Big Boo. This Boo might be bigger, but definitely not scarier. Following the trend here, you will need to hit him 3 times instead of just once like the regular Boos. Sure, the larger hitbox means he can hit you more easily, but hey, it also makes him an easier target. And don't confuse Big Boo with King Boo. They are 2 completely different types of Boos. Big Boo literally is just a super-sized version of the regular kind. Big Mr. I. Identical to the regular sized version, we just only have to get the attention of this massive eyeball. Don't accidentally run into him or get shot by his projectiles and run around him to make him dizzy. There really is no other catch to this boss version of Mr. I other than it being obviously larger. Big Bully. It seems Nintendo had a habit of just resizing enemies and calling them bosses, and Big Bully is no exception. He's bigger, sure, but just as simple to take down as regular bullies. Knock him into the lava before he gets the chance to do the same to you. Simple as that. Chill Bully. As the name suggests, this is a cooler version of a bully. He loves the cold, but unfortunately for him, there's a pool of freezing water right below. It's another classic showdown. You versus the bully. First to fall loses. Okay, that's maybe not 100% true, but it sounded just way more epic. Interesting to note, there was originally supposed to be a regular sized Chill Bully, but it got scrapped. Otherwise, we would probably be calling this guy Big Chill Bully. But hey, that's enough history for now. I-Rock. Hidden deep in an ancient chamber, we've got a coffin guarded by 2 strong hands. With eyes? Thankfully, that's their weak spot. Hit each hand's eye 3 times to knock him out and claim the ancient treasure. Just be cautious, the hands have a variety of attacks to either squash you or shove you off the edge. If that happens, quickly counter by hitting their respective eye. Wiggler. First, we flood his home. Then we barge in without asking. And to top it all off, we beat him up. Poor Wiggler, he's done nothing wrong. But anyway, he can only be harmed by jumps or ground pounds, requiring 3 hits to take him down. With each hit, he gets angrier, running and jumping around like crazy. And when it's all over, he doesn't just vanish, he shrinks down super tiny after dropping the power star and then falls down into the abyss. Bowser. The big bad guy himself. You will face him 3 times throughout the game, and each time he adds more tricks to his arsenal. Bowser, first battle. He will try to roast you with his fire breath, but just run around him, grab him by the tail and toss him into one of the bombs. Boom! Defeated, and he will grant you a key. Bowser, second battle. Same fire breath, but now he can teleport around the stage, making his movements trickier to predict. Oh, and every time he jumps, the battlefield tilts. That's the real challenge here. Throw him into one of the bombs and voila, another key. Bowser, final battle. Now it's time for the ultimate showdown. Rainbow Bowser. Yeah, he's all colorful now. Maybe to show off his powers? Anyway, he's upgraded his fire breath. Not only can he shoot fire directly at you, he will also rain fire down from above. Watch out for the blue flames. They split up and cover more ground. Thankfully, he stitched the teleporting, but he will chase you down hard. And when he jumps, he creates 2 massive shockwaves. Despite all that, the strategy is the same. Grab his tail, toss him into bombs. After 2 hits, the battlefield reveals its star shape. For the final hit, you will need to bring him near the edge for one last throw. Boom! Finishing off Bowser and clearing the game as a whole. Wow, that was a lot. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. Honestly, there were a few enemies I knew existed, but had no idea what their official names were. Tell me in the comments who your favorite entry was, or if you think I missed anyone. Thank you for watching to the very end, it really means a lot. And you know what? Subscribe to not miss out on more cool content like this. I'm aiming for 500 subscribers by the end of the year, so it'd be awesome if you joined me on this journey. And I'm also planning some follow-up Bestiaries for the other 3D Mario games. So Sunshine, both of the Galaxy games, and Odyssey. If there's interest, of course. But for now, have an amazing day, afternoon, evening, or night. Until next time, see ya!